is the very idea that for some reason, short-term profit maximization for huge corporate entities should be placed before and above safety, health, and well-being of the American people. It is a paradigm. It is a very notion of what should be more important. That instead of an economic system serving the people, the idea has become that the people somehow should serve the economic system. It is the very idea that democracy should no longer be our governing principle, but that the short-term profit should be our governing principle, thereby creating an oligarchy in which only those who have made and are making a lot of money from those corporate powers should have the right not only to safety, health, and well-being, but they should also have the right to decide how our lives are lived. A group that actually enables a system in which the tentacles of the unfettered, soulless vulture capitalism that is produced by this economic system now reach into every corner of our lives, to the point where we don't have universal health care like every other advanced democracy. Why? Because of the institutionalized greed of insurance companies. We have 1.3 million people rationing their insulin and 18 million Americans who cannot afford the prescription drugs that their doctors prescribe for them. Why? Because of the institutionalized greed of big pharmaceutical companies. We have carcinogens in our food that will not be allowed in other countries that we feed our children. Why? Because of the institutionalized greed of big food companies who have found certain elements that will increase the shelf life, thereby increasing stockholder value, but which are not even allowed into the food in Canada or other advanced democracies. Why? Because we know they're carcinogenic elements. We have pesticides, we have chemicals in our pesticides that we absolutely know harm a developing child's brain for no other reason than the institutionalized greed of big chemical companies. We have guns flooding our streets because of the institutionalized greed of gun manufacturers. We have the farming sector and the food and the way the earth and the monocropping and the desecration of our earth because of the institutionalized greed of big agricultural companies. We have presidents, whether they're Democrat or Republican, falling in line with big oil. We are ramping up rather than ramping down fossil fuel extraction only because of the institutionalized greed of big oil. And we have wars that have been fought and are, in too many cases, obvious to everyone now. Expressions not of righteous foreign policy, but simply the bottom line profit maximization goals of defense contractors. And they not only own every single corner of American society that I've mentioned, they own Washington. Because ever since the Citizens United decision particularly, those corporate powers have unlimited authority, unlimited permission to influence our political system. And trust me, on the belly of that beast, oh, they do. And those political powers too often, instead of actually protecting we the people, because remember, that's why that government was instituted. It was instituted to secure our rights, and too often the forces which control that system, i.e. political parties and so forth, instead of protecting our rights, actually enable the very forces that are diminishing our rights. And that is our new status quo, and that status quo will not disrupt itself. And if we want to know what we should do about that, we might read the Declaration of Independence and know that that system will not disrupt itself. That's our job. That's why I'm here.